Hi, everyone. March is National Women's History Month, and this year's 2022 theme is Women Providing Healing, Promoting Hope. We all come together at this Goddess Festival to celebrate women in a positive way by sharing our voices, our stories, our memories. The National Beat Poetry Foundation is inclusive of everyone wanting to be a part of this. Right now, we all need some healing and hope, and I feel that is done by expressing ourselves and by coming together like we are right now. This year, I am remembering my own mother, who was born 100 years ago this month. I know she speaks through me at times, and I'm happy to know that. She nurtured, protected, and taught me, and always had a positive outlook on life, no matter what struggles she faced. I thank her and try to emulate those qualities she taught me, and I hope this Goddess Festival leaves you feeling healed and hopeful. Welcome, everyone.
From Kerala in India. Today, I'm going to recite a poem titled Injustice. It is on Greek mythology, on Medusa. Shall I start my poem?
Yes.
Injustice. Misunderstood, pounded and hunted by the goddess I believed and worshipped. Double punishment for no fault of mine. The lascivious sea god's satiation of lust, and my goddesses for desecration of her temple. My sunny golden tresses to serpents twining, a hideous crown of creepy crawlies. My benign, beautiful eyes, a curse to turn to stone all who glanced at me. I yearned for redemption from this ignominy. The wait was long, and I abandoned Gorgon until Perseus lopped off my head, looking at his mirror-finished shield. My grotesque snaky head rolled on the ground, and I birthed my sons, the glorious Pegasus and the giant Chryssa. Redeemed my snaky head, a talisman now, to protect brave warriors from evil eyes. Yet I bemoaned the injustice inflicted and the cursed life I led, in spite of being a priestess to goddess Athena. Thank you.
I'm karlostheunhappy, and I'm delighted to be invited to help celebrate and honor beat goddesses and women all over the world in this very important month. I'm reading from the whispering pines and white wise oaks of the Forest of Dean in England, on the border of Wales. And I'm going to take a quick chronological read of some famous beat goddesses and then finish with one of my own. I'm going to start with where it all began for women beat writers, probably, I think, Emily Dickinson. And the first stanza goes like this. A wounded deer leaps highest, I've heard the hunter tell. 'Tis but the ecstasy of death, and then the break is still. Another poem from Emily Dickinson. If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robbing unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain. That's Emily Dickinson. Now I'm going to go on to The Beat Scene, which came out in 1960, edited by Elias Willents, and a poem by Barbara Ellen called Boris Obelso. A torn son, where she lets go the naive audacity of her mouth. In his mouth, her dust of black seeds, thin murmur of the silkbird's killed wound. Void, the mind clears where shame. The day wisp cries, once raucous, three-eyed black pearl. The mind's star unhinged, disrobes. A brown bear eyeing honey, where a tinkle of birds mumble in the blue hair of the mountain. And I'm going to move quickly to Lathaprem and Revolutionary Letters. This is the 50th anniversary edition, which she continued to update throughout her life. A very short one, written in 2001, and it's Revolutionary Letter number 84. It goes like this. Someone put out a flag for Valentine's Day, as if the domain of the heart could belong to this heartbroken nation. Lathaprem. I'm going to read one of my own now from Oblivion, 200 Seasons of Pain. And this is a poem about a female heroine of mine since I was a teenager. And of course, she was a teenager, Joan of Arc. And this imagines that she's up in heaven, rebelling, as she always has been. And it's called Fantasy. And it's got a byline or a prologue that says, the revolution in heaven over, the reign of the white inferno spent. And in this poem, she's on the run because she's a rebel. That's what rebels do. And she's on the run with the everyman, the nobody. That's with a capital N in this poem. So that's what it means by the second line, nobody. And it goes like this. Joan of Arc is on the run with nobody. But in the afternoon sun, she tires easily in her body of white armor and the weight of her great renegade wings. Sitting now like bored children on roadside curb, from a flask of sun-splashed silver, she shares heaven's cool water. And yet, in the silence between them hangs regret, remorse, and uncertainty. Her pale, holy head cowed like a snowdrop. And when the sweet rebel of eternity looks up in weary silence, the sun catches her beautiful squint, as if again that Domremy morning 1425, where bright archangel was floating tall in her father's dew-drenched garden, with the crabapple in blossom, Joan the maid with sweet lamb in her arms, like the child she'd never mother. Exhausted, she sighs under skies that wane before moving off again on the run into the sun, this dusty highway. Thank you very much.
Well, hello everybody. As you can hear, I'm French, but I've lived 46 years in the UK, 20 in London, when I lived with in Asquati, then I lived with the underground art circle all over the place in London. And after that, I moved to Essex on the North Sea. I can see the sea from my door. I haven't recently written very much, so I will read a poem that I wrote in '83 when I was living in Brixton. That was the ghetto with all the blacks from Jamaica and plenty of reggae and plenty of other things. And it's not very long, but that's all I could find to give you, to share with you. I'm very glad to be here, and thank you for having me. I hope you like it. and I read it now. It's called The Brixton Girls. The Brixton girls are a bit apart. They're tough, they're rough, you can't buy them with words. The Brixton girls are ever so pretty. They shine and entwine you to your better end. Beware of the Brixton girls. Once you have known one, you're done for good. Girls of the world stand no chance. The Brixton girls sparkle, strong teeth, strong nails, and tongues. Their laughter like a cascade, like a cannon. Beware of the Brixton girls. They've known enough shit, won't take no more.
Hello, everybody from Greece. It's so nice to be here. Thank you. I'm grateful for that. My poem is called Garden of Life. The liquid in the jar dried before I could enjoy its aroma. The storm stopped before I could confront it. And it was only the embrace that longed to enclose the whole earth tight on the sweet woman's shoulders. The nostalgia went away. But today is the day she celebrates. Her gift is not oblivion. It is a tear from the fountain of the heart that never forgets how much love had watered it. Thank you.
Cable knit sweater, and it evokes the memory of my mother. The cable knit sweater. On a dark winter night, as the cold soaks into me, I take the purple cable knit sweater out of the closet that my mother had knitted for me long, long ago. I put it on and feel warm and cozy. The bone-deep memory, sleeping away, pops into my mind unbidden, like a language that crosses all borders. I remember her sitting on the sofa, knitting, the bag full of purple balls. I was delighted to see her beautiful fingers running swiftly on the knitting yarn. In eager anticipation of completing my sweater, she took the knitting everywhere she went. At night, she would work the stitches until her fingers would hurt. I mean so much to her. Oh, the boundless Ganga of unconditional love she carried and sustained me. I still feel the bond of the cord, no matter how old I have grown. After so many years, the snuggly sweater is still shining. The divine magical pattern becomes a legacy of love. Softly, I caress the purple stuff and reminisce my mother's benign presence amid an aching void of absence. Past floods into present. I feel my heart riddled with Tosca, grief, nostalgia, yearning. Thank you.
Everyone. thank you for inviting me, and I'm happy to be here. I still have my mother too. She's turning 95 this year. I'm 73. I'm gonna, this is a dark time for us in Europe with war and everything close by. But I'm gonna start with a song. I have a band, I'm really happy about that. I have a band that's making music with my poetry, so that's really great. So, and I wrote a new, some new lyrics for a new song. Hasn't been put to music yet, but these are the new lyrics, and I think it's very fitting for today. There's love in the morning light, the wind that moves the curtain. Everything will be all right, of that I must be certain. There's a lighthouse on the run, let's catch it, just for fun. Birds, they talk to me, singing songs of old. Solar winds, a roaring sea, your tales where dreams unfold. You put my house on fire when you look my way. My restless days have expired. I see you stretch across the bay. There's love in the morning light, the wind that moves the curtain. Everything will be all right, of that I must be certain. There's a lighthouse on the run, let's catch it just for fun. Wheeled by the morning light, your body glows next to mine, a breeze, a breath, embracing night. A newly polished moonshine, rivers of long days gone, find me here in daring eye, long lost in what I've done. So take my hand and let us fly. There's love in the morning light, the wind that moves the curtain. Everything will be all right. Of that I must be certain. There is a lighthouse on the run. Let's catch it just for fun. That's the song. I'm going to read another short one called Pierced Like a Wind. Pierced like a wind I am, folding sleepy women into good night. Distanced by a final call, like a gull above the sea, I cry no more. Standing by your side, I see belled belonging move into a different light. I can almost touch this longing that we are, streamed and so long lost. Steep me not ever again, ravished is a fatal move, succulent and dying, dying, dying. And I'm going to end with a, not very, let me just say it before I read this one. Women rarely start wars. This is an important fact. Salutations to the dead still walking, to the dead strung like beads across a bleeding universe. The terrains where one walks with dark days in a face-off, daring darkness with more wine. This life, this you, this I, this nothing, this pale tram ride into fading memory, this dream with no name running out. You that yield to the flag will be bonfired and rolled into a bad joint, a hateful cannon going boom in the dark. Hear me now, you small men that crawl like sooty spiders, just to say, bang, bang, you're dead. This is not your day, nor your time. Fusion will not happen till after midnight. There is no resurrection. That was the end of it.
My name is Pankhuri Sinha. I am from India. Thank you so much to the Beat Poetry Foundation for this opportunity. I am just delighted to join in this celebration. The title of my first poem is called Make the Outdoors Safe Again. Don't stay out late, they said. Don't wear short clothes, they said. Not even tight, loosen up, but always be on your guards, they said. They said all of this to girls alone, big and small, growing and grown, in towns across the world. why didn't they ever tell the men to never abuse, to make the outdoors safe again? And the second poem is called The Rainmaker. Watching the movie The Rainmaker, it's believable even heinous abuse can end in sweet romance. Trappings of mistreatment can have fairy tale endings. Well, reality might be a little different, harsher, way harsher. Yet there's a way out of abuse. Human civilization has built so many institutions to deal with the threat, the menace of domestic abuse, that it seems that the creature named man is a vile, venomous existence, not even the social animal he's best understood as, but a brute that attacks tender vulnerability, beauty in most pristine, pious places, attacks the structure of family, the one thing he has built and so failed to protect. Young girls are killed, beaten for liking someone outside the taste of the family, murdered in fetus, raped in childhood, harnessed like slaves. Woman's story is a battle of survival. Captive of inhibitions, families, prohibitions, women have barged out, scaled the mountains, swum the oceans, prevailing over torture, have carved spaces secure and delightful from people deceitful. Kidnapped and dismembered, they've been held hostage at home, a baby-making machine or a dry piece of barren land. There are many names for the women of this world. May glory be theirs and success even more. May the dream called happiness be near and close. May free voice be theirs and forced not to speak of the evil done by others when there is so much beauty to seek. Thank you.
I'm Anastasia from Greece. Thank you so much for the invitation. I would like to read to you a poem published, part of my poetry collection called In Full Bloom, published in 2014. With the sign underarm. You went down the streets again with the light blue dress underarm, just in case. You set off as usual, armed in the black raincoat and the old male cup, not at all feminine. But it's like this you fancied going out tonight. Men painted to the stormy demands, with a sign underarm, signal to the initiated, consolation to the distress of the road, and to the margin uphill to the execution, femininity aside, unnecessary even when it appears, trophy of another era, once brightly dressed, when on this very same dress, they got slaughtered for the pussy, and you, otherworldly, not a thing you copped on. Thank you.
I am Michael Sindler, coming to you from Denver, Colorado, and I am very thankful to be invited to be part of this celebration. Inviting opening between your thighs of clay, hidden jewel demands attention. You lean back in longing, thrust your steeple high, slope-shouldered roof wraps in wraps and in wraps, warms to devotion and ritual connection. In repose, heaving, green tufted nurturing mounds surround, teeming with growth, a buttress glen above your sacred valley. What response, what mystery, what ecstasy will unfold and rise with invocation, coat like morning's mist, sweet breath of rapture? What offering will serve to be laid at transept before the cross, to be consumed within, curving chancel by spirit's hunger, beating on the open door, the vigil before the holy wall, the wail within and without, the wait until salvation comes. And the second piece I'm going to do is an ode to Shekinah, one of the many names of the Mother Goddess. Mother of all, we see you in all, each rounded hill, your beating bosom, milk of your heart and each sweet fruit, your coursing power running through wave, wind, and earthly tremor, fierce, untamed mistress, holding all life in gentle arms of green, your beauty bursting in infinite color, in infinite scent, in infinite texture, arousing all affection, all rush to valor. We ache in every aspect of our essence to once again be one with you. The deep womb of the grave itself only brings us closer to rebirth in new form. O Aphrodite, O Kali, O Avalokiteshvara, release your Shakti and your compassion. Only through you is life made true. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you all for having me. My name is Rawle. I am James. I'm in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. My apologies for being late. I had a power outage here, so I'm glad that I could make it, and I'm loving what I'm hearing so far. So I have a piece that I'd like to share in celebration of Women, the Goddess, called "Her Strength is Her Beauty." She is patient with time and expects nothing, for she knows nothing happens without a choice and in the right time. She simply holds space to offer a hand for when I fall, or a shoulder for tears to waterfall. She cloaked my inner child with her unwavering spirit, but my foolish pride had me trapped in the fog of insensibility that just for a moment allowed her beauty to be absent. Only in the constant echoing of doubt did I question her resolve. For you see, her beauty is her strength, and her strength is beauty. And as I stood at the threshold, hesitating at the roads that laid before, feeling alone and abandoned, I am conflicted by which path to take. I looked for courage, void of fear, as I searched both high and low for the strength of character that lingered in the chasm of right and left brain thinking, hoping that my choice this time would remove the rose-colored glasses that flooded me with ego's lust for balance between ignorance and blinded intelligence. She's the unspoken whisper that floats upon the trade winds. The subtle, shy slant of her eyes seductively inspires hints of untamed playfulness. The slight tilt of her head highlights her flowing braided hair and the way it partially covers her caressing moon smile. For reasons beyond my understanding, her beauty shined like never before. And as I trembled at the doorway of discomfort, she gently took my hand and placed it upon my heart. And without uttering a word, she reminded me of the flame that burns within. At that moment, her strength was her beauty, for her beauty transcended the moment and appeared as a multitude of orchestrated thoughts. Once again, she reminded me her beauty to silence my own will. I accepted her feminine wiles, which unfolded beneath my feet as solid ground. And if I had the audacity to breathe in the particles of her beauty, my lungs will forever be filled, my thirst forever quenched. She invited me into my own vulnerability to see the strength of my own beauty. And as our souls frolicked and pranced in the garden of content, our bodies floated our beds of water lily on a river of her tears with only imagination as our guide. She once again reminded me that alone is a construct designed to blind self. As the day's light crept closer to revealing the night's secrets, I safely cocooned my soul into her beauty, to dream dreams of shooting stars that lit up our soul's playground. And as we fell with the sands of time, witnessing time itself stand still, we are reborn into our wild and free selves to dance for the sake of the dance, succulently under the stars by the light of the pale moon. For you see, her beauty is her strength, and her strength is beauty. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me here. My name is Mary Jennings, and I am from Chicopee, Massachusetts, and I'm going to read for you The Ride. It's coming around again. The cycle of anger, punishment, and reprieve, passed off as a lesson in gratitude, will only drain you, not sustain you. The gifts they gave you, you already paid for. Where is the worth in that? Where is the devotion they proclaim for you at the last minute? They steal your thunder by causing stormy weather in your heart and mind. Then surprise. They provide unwavering support at your moment in the sun. They know what's in it for them after making you go it alone, go without. They will forgive you this time, then do it again to remind you who knows you and loves you best. You have better things to do than to tend to petty grievances at the expense of those who deserve your best. Time to break the cycle. Time to get off this ride. Time to stop being the ride. You can go without their devotion and unwavering support to the bitter, glorious end. Thank you.
This is Susan Justiniano, RescuePoetix. I'm the Poet Laureate of Jersey City. It is an honor to be here among such beautiful faces and to share such amazing words. I have a piece for you this afternoon, and this theme this year is about renewal and nurturing and healing. This piece speaks about self-healing and self-nurturing. I could extol the virtues of motherhood, tell of the wondrous ability to create life, praise the struggle of raising kids as a single parent, martyr this as my greatest accomplishment. I could hide my failures, asinine judgment calls, ass backwards decisions, the madness and chaos that followed, gloss it over, make it pretty. I could ignore the rage, having done so for years, runs in fishnet stockings worn over varicose veins. That skin, parchment paper edges singed, it's time to cut it away, peel it back, and grow a new one. Over scars my last relationship pried open just to watch the blood flow. The hardest thing isn't to let go. The hardest thing isn't to let go. The hardest thing isn't to let go. The hardest thing is to move on, redefine myself, rediscover who I am, not defined by motherhood, children, work, career, relationship, or any other human being. Stand on my own, in my own, for my own. At the mouth of change, I dare to look back, my shedding scattered along on a path like breadcrumbs, on a path I no longer travel. Maybe I like that. Today, I don't know how true that is. I do know that I have cut from me the need, the fear, the desire to return to the devil I know. Thank you.
This is Nancy Klepsch, and I'm reading to you from Troy, New York, in the United States, and I'm thinking a lot about our neighbors in the Ukraine. This is called Shopping for a Goddess. I went shopping for a goddess to love me, a woman I can conjure, make familiar, text and email, someone with whom to make selfies. Wait, I need a soundbite for my soul, an iconic look. I am lacking magic, have lost the best of my cool. Oh, I can play my hand, work 2 jacks into 3 of a kind now and then, but I am not from a well-shuffled deck. My mother, her 2 brothers, and 3 sisters, kings and queens, were never 2 pairs. It would have taken an Etruscan water god like Neptune to whisk away all of the bad hands that played at their table. So today I am calling for a fresh deck, a new dealer to break the seal, crack the pack of 52. Nona, pass me an answer. Juna, guide me. I am shopping for a new goddess. I ocean, I mountain, I boulder, the rock of millenniums. I went shopping for a goddess to love me, and I found her right in front of me, staring at me in the face, looking like familiar from a world oceans away, and Panda greets me in an old flowered house dress. Nylons rolled down to her ankles after a late shift at the shelter. She opens her book, tells me a story about how she learned to be a goddess in a full house. Thank you.